Well, it is Friday, and thanks for kicking off the weekend with us here at the Speaking For Him podcast. I'm Adam McNutt, alongside the host of the program, Mr. Andrew Gomison.
Well, Adam, it is hard to believe, but it is already the final Friday in June, and we are here to give you another Freeform Friday. And because it is the final Friday in June, this Freeform Friday and the following week's episode will both have a kind of a 4th of July type of flavor. This week we'll be delving into a little bit of patriotic stuff, and then next week we will be talking about some of the signers of the Declaration of Independence and their Christian faith. And so I'm excited about these next two podcasts, and I hope that you will buckle in and enjoy the ride. Adam, can you get us started with today's quote of the day?
And this comes from Honest Abe. My dream is of a place and a time where America will once again be seen as the last best hope of Earth.
And I really appreciate the spirit behind that sentiment, because the idea was that America's strength was a benefit to others around the world, and surely we have been benefactors to other nations. And Alexis de Tocqueville actually came from France.
Oh, wow.
And said that this is a great nation, and if it ever ceases to be good, then it will cease to be great. And he talked about how the goodness of America was seen in its pulpits, that they shine brightly for the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, of course, we as Americans have much to pray for as we approach this July 4th. I believe it's 241 years this year, if I'm not mistaken. And so relatively young, as I understand, on the calendar of nations. And we have much to be thankful for. I know people have varying views of our current president, number 45, Mr. Trump, and I'm still not a huge fan. I've been very blessed by some of the decisions that he's made thus far in his presidency, though, so I would just encourage you to continue to pray for him as he continues to seek to lead this nation. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But we're going to move into our Freeform Friday. And today I thought it would be fitting on this last Friday in June to bring you the song story of America the Beautiful. And so Adam is going to share that with us.
They wrote the words and music to America the Beautiful, but poet Catherine Lee Bates and church organist Samuel Augustus Ward actually never met. Indeed, the writer and musician never even corresponded about the accidental collaboration that became one of the nation's sentimental anthems. Ward actually died before the music he wrote, which was a church hymn inspired by a majestic day spent with family and friends at New York's Coney Island, became a piece of the national fabric. And the humble Bates, who casually referred to the poem as A the Bee, made only $5 from its initial publication in the Congregationalist. Well, you can just make your own word.
Congregationalist.
Thank you. I don't know if it shows. I didn't read the story before we went on. Which is a church publication back in the day. If these snippets of history that make the song so compelling to ABC News correspondent Lynne Sure, she says the song really has a fascinating story that is as American as the words and music she says, but so many people don't know it. Sure, who reports for the ABC News Magazine 2020, began researching her new book, America the Beautiful, the stirring story behind our nation's favorite song, which is a public affairs book, about a year and a half ago. She first got hooked on the song while a student at Massachusetts Wellesley College, where Bates was an alumni and English professor. The story began in 1893 when Bates, then a young professor, headed west to teach a summer course at Colorado College. She was just 33, and as Cher notes, the trip was a really big deal. It was an adventure. For a young single woman, it was a fairly mammoth undertaking, especially back in the day. Bates did not squander the opportunity. She was stirred by the amber waves of grain in her travels she saw in Kansas wheat fields during a July 4th train trip. Later, on a faculty trip to the top of Pikes Peak in Colorado, she saw what she later described as the Purple Mountain's majesty. There, the poem America the Beautiful was inspired. Bates wrote, "The words just floated into my mind. It is the people who sing it who make the song." It's exactly when Bates' poem was paired with Ward's music. It's a mystery that Cher hasn't completely solved, but her research suggests that the first time Ward's Materna was introduced as a musical background for the poem was by the Reverend Clarence Barber in 1904 at a Protestant church in New York. And that's how the song that we sing every fourth and at special events has come to know today.
All right, Adam, thank you for sharing that, and appreciate your efforts there. And I hope that has given you a new appreciation for the music that you're hearing in the background. And as always, we will provide you with the link to the YouTube link for that instrumental, as well as the YouTube link for the story itself and the source that we took that from. And so we hope that you will enjoy that as we go into the fourth. Again, definitely so much to be thankful for living in this great nation. Well, as you know, it is my privilege and one of my exciting opportunities every time we do a Freeform Friday to bring you at least one video clip that speaks to me or that's funny or that's inspiring, and today's is no exception. This young lady that you're about to hear, Darci Lynne, and I really encourage you to watch the video when I post the link on my blog, because as you listen to her, to give you the picture, here's what's happening. She is an 11-year-old who happens to be a ventriloquist. She has been doing ventriloquism for 2 years, and yet she put on this majestic performance for America's Got Talent. And so on this patriotic Freeform Friday, what could be better than a clip from America's Got Talent? I really like Darci from what I've heard from her in interviews and from this performance. And she said she learned about ventriloquism at her church initially, and so if I can track her down and eventually get her on the podcast, that would be really awesome. But right now, let's hear her audition on America's Got Talent. And again, I will post this YouTube link. I claim no ownership over it, but I just wanted to share it with you today on the Speaking for Him podcast.
My name's Darci Lynne. I'm 12 years old. I live in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and today I'm going to be doing ventriloquism. There's so many good people here. I brought my puppet Petunia. She's a rabbit, and she's a little shy, kind of like me. For me, it's always been, hard to talk to people. I'm not good at eye contact and things like that. I first saw ventriloquism at my church. Something clicked, and I was like, I want to do that. I thought that the puppet's like kind of a friend there to help me along the way. My parents surprised me with a puppet on my 10th birthday. Ventriloquism kind of helped me find my voice.
We're proud of you. We love you.
It's really helped me come out of my shell. My shyness is getting better, but there's going to be a lot of faces out there looking at me. I have to be confident. Hopefully, I kind of block everything out and I kind of get like a little spunky.
Love you.
So proud of you.
Without my puppet with me, I never would have imagined walking out onto the America's Got Talent stage.
There she is, there she is. Hello. How are you?
I'm great.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
What's your name?
My name's Darci Lynne.
Okay, and Darci, who's that?
My name's Petunia.
Oh, he talks.
Is it a bunny?
Yes.
Is that a real bunny? Oh, we're going to find out. Okay. And Darci, why did you both decide to enter the show?
Well, it was one of my big dreams. But also, I would really like to keep ventriloquism alive because it's not common, So.
Well, listen, Darci, best of luck. I really hope you both do well.
Thank you so much.
All right, good luck.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Hit it.
Wait, you're gonna sing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Fish are jumping and the cotton is high.
Wow.
One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing.
Oh my gosh.
Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. So hush, little baby, don't you
Let me ask you something. How long have you been doing this?
2 years.
No.
That's all?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Just 2 years.
Wow.
I believe that rabbit is a real separate person. You have all the nuance.
So cute.
Exactly that.
My gosh.
I love you, and I believe you're going to go far. You just changed your life tonight, young lady.
Can I ask you, what made you start doing this 2 years ago?
Well, I used to be really shy, and I asked my mom for a puppet to help me, and she surprised me with one on my 10th birthday, and here I am.
Simon.
I'll tell you what's important, Darci. We had an act earlier on who were very good, but I said I'm not going to remember them in an hour. I'm going to remember you in a week and a month and a year. You're both brilliant. And when you've got it, you've got it.
I think what you do is really special, and I want to know where you found that bunny, because, wow, that bunny can sing so beautifully. It was perfect from beginning to end, and I loved everything about it.
Thank you.
You know what's really sweet? Your puppet, I'm guessing, is exactly like you. Very charming and adorable. You made my heart melt. You were brilliant. I'm trying to describe how amazing it was. You know what?
Oh my God. Thank you for coming on the show. I bet you wasn't expecting that, was you? No. Come here. Oh. Well done.
Well, Darci, you are going straight to the live show.
And there you have Darci Lynne, 11-year-old ventriloquist. And Adam, as I was sitting there watching that the first time, of like 10 or 20 times that I've seen it.
Yeah.
Well, probably not that many, but I've watched it quite a few times. I was sitting here thinking she could have gone on to the live shows just by singing.
Oh, yeah.
Can you mind as she's singing all these long notes. She's singing with her mouth shut.
That's what blows me away.
How in the world did she do that? Anyway, hopefully I'll get a chance to ask her about that someday. But until then, I hope you enjoy that video, and I hope that you will look it up on the link on my blog for this week's show, and that you will share it with your friends, because it's already had something like 20 million views, and it deserves 20 or 30 million more.
Yeah.
It was really good. So,
Goosebumps. Oof.
just wanted to share that little gem with you. And here is the time that I was hoping to have an Oreo taste test. Because I really wanted to try the fireworks Oreos and potentially the blueberry pie Oreos. And as I was telling Adam, I'm going to try to procure one or both of those flavors for next time. I believe the next Freeform Friday. Well, I'm not sure when it is. I was thinking August, but now that I am counting in my head, I think there might be only 4 Fridays in August. But one of these next few months will be a Freeform Friday again, because they always come up. And hopefully we'll have some sort of taste test. If not Oreos, then some other delicious taste test that we can share with you, much as we did the fried Twinkies a few months ago.
Yes.
So, which you still remember fondly.
I do. Still digesting today, in fact.
So, but moving on from that, Adam has a special announcement that I think every one of you who are listening to the show and have for a while might be a little interested in. So, Adam?
Hey, speaking of deep fried Twinkies, that's a good segue. This month, I have started a new Facebook Live show. It's me cooking things, and it's called Internet Cooking. And I've done it's 3 videos now. And basically, what I do in the video is I get all the ingredients, I whip it all together, and then whether it's cake, which I've made, or homemade ice cream, like just yesterday.
Which is this week's show, yes.
Oh, boy. Oh, which I should have brought some of that in, but unfortunately it lasted about 5 minutes after it settled. So, but we'll try and make another batch, for sure, to try on the show, too. But what I do is I make everything live, so you can actually interact with the show, which is a lot of fun. And then you can comment and ask questions about the recipe, or about just kind of what's going on in life even. You kind of talk back and forth while I'm cooking stuff. It's a lot of fun. And then because most things take an hour or hours to bake, you got a life. So I usually have a follow-up video later on in the day of the finished product, and then I'll post the recipe. So it's a really interactive show. So I want to share the recipe with you that I'm doing, and then if there's like a recipe that you want to share on the Facebook page in the comments, or that you want me to try and make, you can do that as well. So it's been a lot of fun.
And that would be, I would definitely encourage you to do that. I've been wanting to get some action in the Speaking for Him Facebook page for some time. So if you go to the Speaking for Him Facebook page and you like that page, and then you give Adam ideas for his next cooking show, our next episode of his cooking show, that would be very helpful. And we can even talk about food on there. I don't mind at all, because I like food. So that will work fine. So far, you have done a mixed berry buckle cake.
Yeah, I think it's like summer berry buckle. I never heard anything like that before.
And then you did a ginormous, humongous omelet.
Humongous. Yeah, that was a little bigger than I thought it was going to be.
You don't really need 4 eggs for one person, especially
No.
with all the other ingredients. But if you want to eat it for 2 days, it's not a bad thing.
That's right. You get 3 meals in one. It's a great thing.
And then, of course, your homemade ice cream video is this week's video, and so that's kind of exciting, because who doesn't like ice cream, especially this time of year? So make sure that you check out Adam's personal Facebook page, because that's where his cooking videos are. We may share some on the Speaking for Him page, but for the most part, you're going to want to go to Adam's personal page until he decides to make an Adam's Internet Cooking page. And he could end up doing that if he decides to continue throughout the year with Adam's Internet Cooking, which, based on the quality of the first couple videos, I really hope he does. Because it's amazing what you can do in your kitchen with an iPhone.
It's so true nowadays. It's so true. I appreciate the shout out, and feel free to friend me on Facebook to be a part of it, and I try and do one every Thursday.
So is there anything else while we're talking that kind of stuck out to you on something that popped up in the news or something fun that's coming up?
Well, I gotta say, and I believe I emailed it here to myself. There's something that made me kind of chuckle. Nowadays we have a lot of ways to meet people in relationships, whether it's a dating app or online dating, or there's date nights at different places and stuff. But it's done a lot differently than it was back in 1865. And there is this dating posting in the newspaper from a guy who was looking for a wife back in 1865. And it's a little bit different now than what we would usually talk about maybe as guys, but I still think he's making a good point here. So he says, I'm 18 years old, young buck. I have a good set of teeth and believe in Andy Johnson. I believe in the Star-Spangled Banner and the 4th of July. I've taken up a state lot, cleared up 18 acres last year, and seeded 10 of it down. My buckwheat looks first rate. That's how you do it. And the oats and potatoes are bully. That must have been some kind of texting term back in the day.
I think they still say that in Great Britain.
Did they? That's bully? It's hopefully it doesn't mean it has like a mean taste or mean bite if you first eat it. I'm not exactly sure, but he goes on, of course, because I mean this guy he's pulling all the stops. I've got 9 sheep, a 2-year-old bull, 2 chickens, besides a house and barn. I want to get married. I want to buy bread and butter, hoop skirts, and waterfalls for some person of the female persuasion during life. That's what's the matter with me, but I don't know how to do it. And he ended it right there. So
I love that you brought this up because I saw this just a couple days ago, and I don't necessarily think that I was thinking of bringing it up on the show, but I definitely saw it and got a chuckle out of it. And I think the last time you brought something up, it was something that I had recently seen as well. So it's interesting that we're on the same wavelength.
That's awesome.
So thank you for sharing. I hope that everybody got a kick out of that. And like I said, that is floating around Facebook. I may try to pull the link and put that up on the blog as well. That's one thing I've said before, and I really mean it. When we do these Freeform Fridays, definitely go to the blog. Sometimes there's not a whole lot other than the program description in the blog post, and usually a photograph or a picture to go with it. But on days like this, where it's a Freeform Friday, there's a lot of extra content. So you'll want to make that available to you by going to the blog. And as always, give us feedback about what you think about the show and different things maybe we should include next time we do a Freeform Friday. All right, Adam. Well, we're going to kind of go back to the patriotic thing to wrap up the show. And this is a Mental Floss article that I found. Another one of my favorite things to do is to go to Mental Floss. And so there was actually a Mental Floss of patriotic superheroes other than Captain America who have comic books. So because of the way technology is set up here, I don't have a way of looking at the article. But I want to ask Adam if he can give us maybe 3 or 4 that stick out to him from this list. And then maybe that will whet your appetite to look at the rest of the article.
Well, one that jumped out at me right away was actually Miss America. Now, there's the Miss America pageant, of course, but she was actually made a superhero back in the day, and this quality comic hero with a pageantry name has a very Captain America-like origin. Joan Dale was a product of Project M, a U.S. super soldier program. Miss America had the impressive power of molecular transmutation. I don't know how I can pronounce that, not the word earlier in the show, but she could turn stuff into the other kinds of stuff, and Miss America became part of the DC universe when DC bought the quality comic heroes, including such gems as the Red Bee and Bozo the Iron Man, who I've never heard of before. I don't know if that's what the clown did. Not on the weekends when he had his show. I don't know. But that was one thing he did. Another one that you'd have to slap me if I didn't bring this up is Yankee Poodle. I just saw a picture show up. That's funny. It's basically what you think it is. It's a poodle that's in a Yankee outfit, and she's a superhero comic book dog, such as Crypto the Super Dog or Ace the Bat Hound, who I've also never heard of. A meteor accident enabled the Star-Spangled Canine to shoot stars and stripes from her paws. But that's about it. I think she could chase the mailman, too, if she didn't fight crime too much that day. Oh, boy.
A couple more.
What? There's the Star-Spangled Kid and Stripesy. This doesn't quite have the same ring to it as Captain America and Bucky, but truthfully, there's not much worth knowing about this duo except for one cool fact. They were created by Jared Siegel, who is one of Superman's co-creators, so you know that he had to be on the right track. But basically, the Star-Spangled Kid and Stripesy was known as fighting the main nemesis, was the spelled Dr. Weird, which is spelled W-E-E-R-D. I feel like the whole comic is a little weird.
So weird.
It is. Hey, it's Comic Land. You can do whatever you want, you know?
And then one final one, because we've covered 3, I think.
I think one of my other favorites here, scrolling through the list, has to be the Fighting Yank. This character, created in 1941, is one of several patriotic superheroes that harken back to the War for Independence. Bruce Carter III is visited by an extremely patriotic apparition, his ancestor Bruce Carter I, who reveals the location of a power-granting magical cloak. Sometimes that's all it takes to be a patriotic superhero. So the Fighting Yank would...
Do you think the Fighting Yank is related to Peggy Carter?
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. I don't know. If you don't know, Peggy Carter is...
She came on the scene about World War II time, and she had her own TV show, which lasted 2 seasons, as a mid-season filler. So it was 2 shortened seasons. I liked the show. I was a little bummed that it got canceled after 2 seasons. But so I'm wondering if you said Bruce Carter?
Bruce Carter, probably Bruce Carter III, she was the most related to.
So I'm wondering if they are related. But anyway, if somebody wants to investigate that for us, because we don't have enough money to hire a staff to do that kind of thing for us, then you can definitely do that and send email or a voicemail to the blog. But I hope that you have enjoyed hearing about all these patriotic superheroes that have gotten comics in one comic universe or another. And it's interesting the sheer number of superheroes there are out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, there's the major ones, and then there's a bunch of them that don't get mentioned at all. I believe on this list there's even one called Uncle Sam. So definitely check out the list and have some fun with that. All right, well, that's about all we have time for today, but I hope that you've enjoyed this time just to have a little levity going into your 4th of July holiday. I hope that you enjoy it, but I hope that you realize that it's more than just having your barbecue and your fireworks display. I hope that you realize the great sacrifice that many have made so that we can have a free country. And we'll talk a little bit more about that next week as we get into hearing about some of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. And we may go into that in greater detail as well in future podcasts, because there were 53 signers, and we're only going to cover a few next time. But until that time, I hope that you have a great 4th of July and that you keep serving the best of masters.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Your host has been Andrew Gomison, founder of Speaking for Him, alongside his co-host and executive producer, Adam McNutt. For more information on today's show and to leave us comments and voicemails, visit speakingforhim.blogspot.com. You can find Andrew's ministry at speakingforhim.com. That's speaking, the number 4, HIM. You can also interact with us at facebook.com/speakingforhim and on Twitter @SpeakingForHim. And when you look for us on iTunes and Stitcher, let us know what you think of the podcast by leaving a rating and review.